Good morning, good morning, good morning, community. How are you? Jenenne Macklin here. Good morning to the West Coast. Good afternoon to the East Coast. I thought I'd wait for a few of you to hop on this morning. Gotta get clear on what time I'm coming on for you. It's 9:10, 9:15, or what? Hi, Constance. How are you? How are you? I am really asking you guys that because you come on fairly regularly. So give me a holler back. You good? You working? You worried? You happy? Yeah, I got some competition. You want to sing to them? So how you doing? How's your family? You got any kids that are home that you would like to have in school? What's happening? Hi, Ann Roberts. Good morning, good morning. I get a good morning, must be on the West Coast. Good afternoon, good afternoon. I know you're on the East Coast. So I thought I'd hop on today. A little bit of facts and fun. But I realized, oh my God, after I actually turned on the news and realized that because of what, I don't know what to call the man anymore, the person who's not in charge said about, I don't know, the militia, the racists or supremacists will stand by. They had the nerve to hatch a plan to kidnap the governor of Michigan, the storm, the Capitol building. I'm like, what else do we gonna wake up to? My goodness gracious. This has been a phenomenal year. I don't know what else to call it. But it brought to mind a 6-letter word that we are all dealing with. Deal with it to different degrees. Some people don't like it at all. They always complain. Why does this have to do this? And why does this have to do that? Other people have learned to embrace it. And certainly this year has been about embracing this particular one word. And I'm sure if I asked you, you could probably tell me what's like the theme of living these days. What is it that keeps you on edge? What is it that keeps you nervous? What is it that keeps you, what's that word, anxious? Can you tell me what it is? It's CHANGE. I didn't mean to spell it, I meant to count it. Change. Change. And I do not talk about what they give us when we give them $100 bill and they give us change back. But in some regards, it could be metaphoric. Change on all fronts, on every front. Whether you look to the right, look to the left, no matter where you look, there's change happening continuously. So let's talk about that for a moment, because that's why I said this right here, change, is what life is about. Now, we always have been in the process of change, but lately, at least this last probably 4 years, it seems like it has propelled itself to the forefront of our lives. To the point that we just wake up in the morning and say, okay, what's new today? What happened? What changed? What shifted? There's so much happening, we can't even keep up with it. How you doing with change? I think when we started on this planet, you know, this little bitty wonderful beings, God blew into our mommy's bellies and gave us breath. Because of that comfort, we always thought we'd feel that way. Then if you were little, and depending on your circumstances, parents may have helped you feel that comfort again. So you thought, okay, this is the way life will be. And then you either may have gotten kicked out the house, or you just sauntered yourself out saying, I'm grown, I'm gonna go do what I wanna do. And then change was in your control. You made the decision that you would change and you would do things differently. Here's the thing I know is, whether we do it ourselves, whether it feels like someone's doing it to us, what helps us is if we have developed the capacity to deal with change. Morning. Morning. Wow. Look at you. You're so alert to be a German Shepherd. So change. CHANGE. Change is kicking our butts. So because we grew up with that sense of kind of comfort, and some of us, I know everybody didn't. I actually grew up in an orphanage for the first so many months of my life. We have different responses to it. Now, what I found out for many of us, though, it doesn't really matter who initiates it. We just don't like it. It's like uprooting us from our routines, uprooting us from what we think we can control. Get up, get dressed, get the kids ready, take them to school, high school, whatever, or they drive themselves, go to work, do the day, go to the grocery store, whatever, come home. Change on March 13th, disrupted that. We thought we had it going on. We knew what we was going to do for 2020. We had our goals. We were all ready. We were stepping into 2020 like bam. And then what happened? An enormous 99-wheeler came running through our lives, and it's still running through. Even when we initiate change, the relationship isn't working. The health crisis comes, and we initiate that because we get to determine our health. The financial industry takes a downturn, or we do something with our money to put ourselves in situations that impacts our money. Even when we are the orchestrators and the originators of our change, we still don't like it. Whoa, low battery. I don't know how much time I have. I better talk fast. We still don't like it. We are so afraid, if we really looked at it, of living our life. We just want to get somewhere. Let me stay here. Let's pray nothing changes, and let me live my life. And then we get bored. So it's almost like kids who you can't please, the baby that doesn't want to go to sleep after you give them the bottle. So this year, we can just call it a year, even though December's not here. We have been bombarded moment after moment, week after week. And now it's like day after day with change. To be alert, to be aware, to be awake. Change with racism, change with the correctional system, change with police brutality, change with the leaders of the world, change with our schools, change with our health, change with our finances. Just change. Every day, all day. We can't get away from it. Fertilizer. I love fertilizer. So I want you to sit with that and see how much you're struggling against it, how much you're fighting against it, how much you're pissed off about it, because it's just a part of life. When we went from being the toddler to being the teenager to being the adult, all changes. And we knew they were coming, though. I think what's getting us caught off guard is on March 13th, we didn't see that change coming. We had no clue there'd be a virus that creates so much. We already knew there were issues in the cabinets and the presidency of the United States. That had been going on for a while. But it seemed like more and more it was becoming right present to our doorsteps. For there to be a domestic terrorism in our country is something completely different. So today I just wanted to ask you, how are you dealing with change? How is it impacting you? How is it impacting your heart? As we get older, our body changes. I'm sorry, I actually did grab earbuds today. I just unfortunately grabbed the ones for the computer instead of for the phone. So how are you dealing with change? What's your capacity to deal with change? Because it's going to continue to be a part of our lives. We went from toddlers to adolescents to teens to adults. Change. But we felt like, well, that's just a part of life. You get out on your own, start living your life, get into your apartment, go to college, buy a home. Now you're in charge, you think. You get to decide what either will or will not happen, what you will or will not do. So it may make us feel like, oh, I have a little bit of control in the world. And you do, over ourselves. We have control over what we think. Morning. Sorry, trying to prevent some of the noise. We have controls over what we think. We have control over what we feel. We have control over our actions. So we do have some control. Where it gets a little sticky for us is when it seems like things outside of us are happening and we have no impact on it and no control around that. And yet, I tell you that we do. We do. Because you get to decide how you're going to respond to something. You get to decide what actions you're going to take for you, no matter what they're doing out there. But to make change easier, here's a couple of things. First and foremost, accept the change is inevitable. It's a part of life. It's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. I mean, depending on where you are on your journey, you wouldn't have gotten to where you are if you hadn't made some changes along the way, right? You wouldn't have gotten to the job, the house, the car, the relationship, the marriage, if you hadn't made some changes. Now, where we struggle is when we make changes and it doesn't go the way we want, then we want to get upset about the change, even though we're the ones that made it. But there's power in being willing to accept, one, change is inevitable. So that when things happen, you're not like, oh my God, I don't want you caught off guard. I want you accepting that, okay, this is a part of life. So you can stand solid in that. Stand solid that this is a part of life. Then you get to ask yourself, okay, what's my part? What can I do for me to get me anchored, to get me centered, to stop me from spinning around, saying, oh my God, and to actually get myself back to what I would think of as point zero. Because change may give you a 360-degree turn, but where do you end up and land at zero? What does that look like for you? How do you get yourself back there? I'm going to show you something I haven't seen before. Maybe you have. So one of the first ways to get back there is to recognize that change is inevitable. Have you seen that before? I haven't seen that before. Wow, look at that. Change is inevitable, okay? So resisting it, saying no. If the marriage is over, the marriage is over. You've done the counseling, you've done the work, and it's still not working, you accept. You didn't eat the right way, you didn't do whatever, you got diabetes, you accept. You did the work, did whatever for the grades, you got the grades and you got the degree, you accept. It's about accepting the part that you play in the changes that happen in your life. When it comes to our health and our hearts, when it comes to our faith and our finance, we get to have some impact on that. Now, I get that people are not probably going to get stimulus checks. I don't know what the heck he's going to do. But I'm talking to you about what you did with your money before the stimulus checks. Where would you have needed to make some changes in your perception, in your actions, in your behaviors, in any of those areas, with your finance, with your faith, with your heart, and with your health? See, it's easy to point the finger out there and say, look what they did, and they did this, and this changed, and that changed. I want you to look right here, you. What did I do? What did I change? What do I need to change to bring the peace to my life and my heart in each and every moment? Because granted, there's stuff going on out here. You know, when I looked at that the news this morning for a moment about the governor, oh my gosh, she was so good. She was so articulate. And I have to say, I loved her leather jacket. But I thought, really? Really? This is what we're coming to? Okay. So let's be mindful of what shifts do we need to make and change in our thinking about what we see happening in our world. It is more and more becoming clear that we really won't be able to sit this election out on any kind of level. You cannot. If that can happen on this soil, we don't know what might happen. And I'm not saying that in fear. I'm not afraid. I'm just being realistic about what we see. So we do have some impact over what we can and cannot do, what will and will not impact us in our lives. We have some impact over how we're going to deal with change. So first, it's inevitable. Okay. Now, you can cruise through change if you're not trying to hold on to the way things used to be. The way the relationship used to be, the way your weight used to be, you know, those clothes in the closet that you won't let go of because you say one day you're going to get back and wear them. No, you're not. Let them go and let another person who may be homeless use those clothes. Because here's the thing. The sooner you're willing to accept the change, accept the power you do have in it, the faster you're going to move through it. We want to hold on to something and not let it go. We want to hold on to this thinking, okay, no, I don't know what's going to come, so let me hold on to this. Step number 2, be willing to welcome something new. Be willing to welcome something new. In our lives, we get to be the orchestrators of what that's going to look like. If it's a new relationship, if it's a new health regimen, if it's a new way of thinking and mindset, if it's a new way of handling our money, if it's a new way of addressing our health issues, we have all that power. So before we look out there and say, oh my God, I can't change that, we can change so many things in our lives on our own, of our own free will. Change is inevitable. Embrace what you can change. Embrace that. You can do that. The other thing I want you to do when it comes to change is look for the deeper meaning. Everything certainly happens for a reason. There are no accidents. Even with all the craziness that may seem to be going on at this point in time, there are no accidents. It happens for a reason. And one of the ways I dive underneath the change is through meditation for me, or my walks. This right here, before COVID, I wasn't walking up this hill, or was I? No, I was going to the gym. I was in the gym every day. I was at Gold's Gym. This was a change, sent me out on the road to start walking. Because I thought, okay, it's fresh air. They say we have some kind of virus. I know that the virus isn't in all of God's air, because God's still creating new fresh air. What are you stopping here for? So let me hit the streets. Things changed. Now, I could have been complaining, which I was a little bit, that I couldn't go to the gym, I couldn't get to all the equipment I used to have, I couldn't do this, that, and that. Or I could embrace the change and see, okay, what am I going to do with it? That's the way we get to be in our own individual lives. Accept that it's inevitable. Accept that it's your mindset that's going to determine how you address it and how you deal with it. Accept that you can go underneath the change in meditation. And in that meditation, ask yourself, what is it that I desire? What is it that I really, really, really want? That's either for you. That could be for the world. Because this isn't even about the United States anymore. This is about all 7 billion people on this planet. What I want for the world, what I want to see unfolding in my business, what I want to see unfolding in the 4 areas of life, in my health, in my heart, in my finance, in my faith. In meditation, you can go underneath it. In meditation, it's like, which I want to do one day. You ever see the guys who are in the wave and they ride the tube, and that tube encircles them and they just ride it and they just glide? That's what I want to be able to master. That be place where you get there in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the change, and you ride that energy. No fear, no worry, no concern, no fret, just ride in it. So find your way. I'm saying meditation. Allow yourself to quiet down, to be still, to turn off the TV, to turn off the noise, to turn off all the things you're trying to use to distract yourself from what's going on in life because you're feeling overwhelmed, and go into that stillness with your overwhelm and find out, what are you overwhelmed about? Granted, there are some things that you may say, I just cannot control. I can't control the president. I can't control all the crime that's going on. I can't control all this racism that's been going on and all the lies that we've been told. I can't control all the people that are being killed. And surely I see black people getting killed. This is what other people are saying. I can't control that. No, but you can go underneath it in prayer. You can go underneath it in prayer. You can go underneath it in meditation. And that's where you can find some peace and some calm. I'm not saying you're going to find solution. I just want you to be calm in the midst of the storm. And yes, Joshua, change does include the death of loved ones. We act like people dying right now. They're keeping the numbers on the TV and they're scaring you. People died all the time. People die every year. We don't keep track of them, but now we're keeping track of it because of the virus. So, we can control people and tell people what to do and how to do it and when to do it and wear your mask and don't wear your mask and go out and don't go out. That's about control. But we have always lived with people making transition and dying on this planet. It would seem like by the news, oh my God, people are dying and they're not supposed to. Everything is in divine order. There's no accidents. Nothing's happening by accident. Nobody accidentally dying. No, it's all part of what's supposed to happen and unfold on this planet. So we can accept the change is inevitable. When we can begin to take control for what we can change in our own lives and be at peace with that, Then find some place in serenity, in meditation, to go underneath it and ask yourself this question, even for your personal lives or for the world. What is your deepest desire? And everybody wants to say peace, peace, peace. Okay, well, peace isn't always nice and neat. I'm real clear about that. When I think of Mahatma Gandhi and how many people died there, when I think of Martin Luther King, when I think about all of those movements in the past, we always think peace is going to be what, nice and neat and everybody gets along and loves each other. No, we haven't evolved as a species enough to get along and love each other. We barely love ourselves. So you want to let go of this notion that peace is nice and easy and calm. I need to change sides so I can see the car. And accept the fact that peace is a process. It's a process, it's an experience, as well as change is too. The biggest thing for us to notice that change is happening is all around us. As we see the simple flowers and everything changes around it, that lets us know, the seasons let us know continuously there's going to be change. And they give us a kind of heads up because we call it what? Spring, summer, winter, and fall, those four. So that kind of propels us to say, okay, a change is coming. But we always think about the change coming with the weather. We don't think about the change coming with inside of us, the change coming in our thinking, the change coming in our behavior, the change coming in our actions. So that's what this whole year has been about. Changing your thinking, changing your action, changing your behavior, and navigating your feelings. If we do those four things, that'll keep us busy from all the other stuff that's going on in the world that we really cannot have an impact on except to vote. That is how we're going to have the greatest impact on some of the other things that we see happening on a larger, higher scale in Washington, D.C. and throughout the world, like Michigan and Wisconsin and Florida and all the other places. I'm just looking at him. He's got a beautiful German Shepherd. They were over at the park. He's so pretty. Nice dog. So that's the piece I want you to look at when it comes to change for you in your life so that you can begin to make peace with it. Next, set your intention. Set an intention. What is your intention for you in the midst of change that seems to be happening in the world? See, we want to hold on to everything. I guess the next one I would say is practice letting go. You know, when people are getting ready to make their transitions, you know, everybody's upset and crying. Oh, no, please don't go. Please don't go. They have been here and lived their life with us. It was on us to value the time. It's on us to value all the time that we get and the time we get now. When it's time for them to go, it's time for them to go. That agreement was made before they even got to the planet. So all this change is really calling us to be present in our lives. Get off of automatic pilot. I'm just cruising through life, got my job, my kids, my money, my savings, my health. I'm just cruising. We're supposed to be present in our lives. We're supposed to be awake in our lives. We're supposed to be making conscious decisions that impact our heart and our soul for our own evolution. We didn't just come here to have a job and hang out. So part of what's happening right now is triggering all of that within us. Because how do we do that best? I don't know why I'm down here, but something just told me to stretch my legs. How we do that best is when we're uncomfortable. How we do that best is when we wake up from that sleep. I used to speak at Agape with Reverend Michael Beckwith. And I used to always say, and I think he did too, we're sleep dreaming that we're awake. We're asleep. Because we won't step into the power that we do have to control our life, our thoughts, our actions, our behaviors. So we're asleep, but we think we're awake. We think we're being fully present when actually being present would be mindful of our thoughts, being present would be mindful of our heart, being present would be mindful of our actions, the decisions we're making, and knowing that that is our power. As long as you have that every single day, nobody's taking that away from you. Nobody's taking that away from you. So when we accept what we can change in our lives and then be willing to let things go. You can stop the arguing. You can stop holding the grudge against mama, sister, brother, whoever you're holding a grudge against, including yourself. You can let go of who let you down. Let go of who didn't live up to your expectations. Like we're all living up to our own expectations. When you can let go the anger, the frustration, let go of I know everything. Let go of the racist comments or thoughts or feelings that you may have for another person that you don't even know. Let it go. And the more you let that go, you then create an opening for new stuff to come into your life. And you know that as soon as that comes in and it's there for a period of time and it does what it does, it's going to leave and something else is going to come. It's this continuous movements and continuous flow. The last thing I would say about change is once you look at those that I've already said, is what action are you going to take? What's your action? What action are you going to take? See, I could have stayed at home, complained that the gym was closed, and they gave me an offer to go to another gym. I'm not even supposed to be on this street. Oh, I'll go down there. They gave me an offer to go to another gym, but I didn't take it. I just said, no, I don't want to be inside. I could have complained. I could have stayed at home, fussed and fussed. What was I going to do? Nothing. So I already had some weights there. I already had several yoga mats there to stretch out on. I had 8-pound, 10-pound weights there. And I had, a medicine ball, 8-pound medicine ball. I thought, start using it. Then I took to the streets. I met several women walking the streets and we started walking together, accepting that things changed. Did that last? No. One of my girls went to the Beverly Hills because that's where her salon was. And I don't know what happened to the other woman, but I keep walking. That's part of life, is things are going to change. Situations are going to change. And we want to cultivate that ability, doggone it. We want to cultivate the ability to be able to still stand, but I don't need you standing like this. I need you to be able to stand like the trees, where you can go like this with change, but you still keep your balance. You can even go over. That's the way it is. You want to be able to roll with it and still stay grounded. Meditation will help you stay grounded. Knowing that you have the power in your life right now to determine what you will think, what you will speak, what you will say, and more importantly, what you will do. That's your power. And more and more and more, it becomes very, very clear what your power is in this overall arena, and that is really with the voting. So those were my tips about change, because that's the piece right here, is that everything changes. And it doesn't help that the news says, oh, we're living in uncertainty. Some things are quite certain. You have to define that for yourself. The doggone sky is certain. Doggone birds flying around seems to be fairly certain. All these doggone trees seem to be pretty certain. The soil keeps pushing up new growth, seems to be fully certain. The moon being up there, that's pretty certain. We got air to breathe, that's pretty certain. So sometimes you have to define for yourself what's certain and not let the world tell you, oh, it's so uncertain. Oh, we just don't know. Yeah, we do know some things. Yeah, we do. So don't allow them to scare you and terrorize you with whatever they're saying on TV, because I'm not looking at it. But this morning I just had to get up and see what was happening in Michigan. And she was so poised. I just loved her leather jacket. And she was so clear. People coming to kill her, kidnap her, try and hang her and put her on display and murder her. This has now become America. We would think that that was something we would see in some other countries that I won't name, maybe like Afghanistan and all the other wars that are going on. But now it's on our soil. That kind of stuff really kind of pisses me off. Like, how dare you bring that kind of attitude here? That's not okay. Nonetheless, what I can navigate, what you can navigate, is a change that we feel inside, how we're going to feel about it, how we're going to speak about it, what actions we're going to take about it, and what we're going to think about it. To be able to simply know that all you have to do with change is flow. You got to be able to flow. You got to be able to keep moving. The more you stay here like, oh my God, all it's going to do is knock you over. You got to be fluid. You got to stay in it. You got to be able to let it go. When whatever comes, you get it for a moment. No, it may not stay there forever, and be willing to let it go. Know that as soon as you let that hand go, have your other hand out, because something's coming your way. Set your intentions, and when it really, really gets to be too much, where are you going? Be willing to go under the change into meditation and sit in that stillness and give it to something bigger. Give it to something bigger. If you're a person that's looking at TV, stop terrorizing yourself. You're choosing that. Stop terrorizing yourself. I looked at 21 Bridges last night. Last weekend I was looking at Lovecraft Country. You can feel in the air what happens. You can feel when things change. Don't saturate yourself with that. You are your greatest gift. Love you, take care of you, honor you, and do the best to do that with everyone else that you see while we go through the midst of change. Take good care. Now for Friday fun, what could that be? Wow. I haven't even got my own fun. Our weather is cool over here. But I would say if people are getting ready for Halloween, if you believe in Halloween, then get ready for Halloween. Decorate, get your pumpkins. I see some interesting pumpkins. People are saying they're not passing out candy. Maybe if that's yours, then do that. Maybe you need a good night's sleep or some night's sleep. Then do that. And of course, I'm sure some of you have your favorite shows you might look at and you haven't been able to see them because you've been working. Thank you, essential workers. Then binge on your shows. And I do want to pause to say thank you. I had to go to the urgent care, I think on Tuesday. I was fixing my morning drink because I do intermittent fasting. I use a frother, to blend it up in some kind of way. I turned it off, but I still had it in my hand. And then I inadvertently turned it on. It cut my finger. There's blood everywhere. And I was just like, oh my God. And my son was there and I didn't want to upset him. And it's just me. And I couldn't get the blood to stop, so I wrapped it up. And of course, went to urgent care. Thank God there wasn't a line, because in March and April, the lines were around the corner. Sweetest young man. Told me what to do, had me fill out the form. I'd done all my drink, got there with my drink. I was so nervous, got ready to drink my drink, ended up spilling my drink all on the ground. He got it for me. He said, I'll take care of it. They got me in. Thank you. I had a wonderful woman who talked to me, cleaned it up. Another guy put all that iodine or whatever on there. It hurt. That's all I know is it hurt. I haven't had too many accidents in my life, and then she's like, you're gonna need sutures. I'm like, oh my God, sutures. And I just looked away. And then she had to take the needle and numb it. All that to say, it was incredible staff that was working. If you had not been there, I don't know what the heck I would have done. A friend of mine's like, well, you're supposed to wrap it up. You're supposed to put ice on it. I'm like, I didn't know what I was supposed to do because the cut was too deep. I can't sew my own finger. So thank you to all of you who are getting up, going to work, leaving your families, doing the commitment that you made a long time ago before you knew you'd have to live that commitment under these circumstances. We would be nowhere without each and every one of you. So any of you hear this, any of you have family members that are getting up every day going, tell them we appreciate them. Because the world, what would we do without you? Literally, what will we do? That's the piece that's holding everything together. You are. The essential workers are holding everything together. That's it. Without you, we would have nothing. Nothing. Whether it's in the county buildings, whether it's in the political offices, whether it's the few teachers that are trying to go to school. I was walking the other morning and a woman was dropping off her child. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. You have daycare? She said, yeah, only so many kids could get in and it was based on their grades or something like that. And my daughter was able to get in. So there you are taking in kids so their moms can go to work. We can't give you enough gratitude, honor, praise, appreciation for what you're doing, given the circumstances, which really still are not very clear when it comes to this doggone virus. So I just want to thank you. I got my little, it's all wrapped up here. I had to do my bandage. Oh, I'm trying to show you, but I guess I can't. I'm trying to do my bandage. Oh, there it is. Every day and change it. I have to go back in 7 days and get the stitches out. So I just want to give a shout out to you, essential workers. But still, in spite of all the change, go have some fun. Go do something wonderful for your heart. Keep it open. Keep it available to the goodness of the universe and God's grace that can flow through everyone. Keep sending out those prayers. Keep your energy high. If you know about energy, the law of attraction and vibration, part of this is on us. Part of us keeping our energy high, keeping those prayers flowing, does have an impact. Trust and believe. Hi, Mary. Hi, Sylvia. Trust and believe it does have an impact. And even for those I know who say you don't have a place to live, who may be struggling, our family members may be struggling, we still all fall under that same grace. Simply know it, simply trust it, and then go forth and live it. But this 6-letter word change, baby girl, it will continue to be part of our journey, and it always has been. It always has been. And on the last note, I'm Jenenne Macklin, transformational speaker, your wealth guide and catalyst. You can find me at www.JenenneMacklin.com. I have audio on there because I'm dealing with women and their relationship with money. And certainly this time probably has brought money to your attention. It's an audio called Healing Your Relationship with Money. It's a freebie. Next week, I'll be hosting a call. I do it once a month, prosperity prayer call, and we're going to be looking at the power of change. So I'll be letting you know if you're on my list, if you want to join that and be a part of that conversation, that healing, as well as, goal setting and visioning for how we want our lives to look. Take good care. Have a great weekend. I think this is right. Yes. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy this life. This is still a life to be lived and enjoyed. We're not supposed to be so dismayed and so disgruntled and so out of sorts with it that we still can't create some quality of life for ourselves. I know I am, and I do it daily. It changes depending on honestly how I wake up and feel, as opposed to living on automatic pilot like I was doing so many years ago. So know that's true for you too. Take good care, loved ones. I keep you in my prayers. Know that it's all unfolding perfectly, even though it may look crazy. It is all unfolding perfectly. I'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.